Good morning, everybody. TGIF, thank goodness it's Friday. Unfortunately, we do not have a 3-day weekend coming up, but that's okay. We've had a good week. We've got to see lots of kiddos this week, and we hope to get everybody else seen next week. So we've already had several kids come in this morning. We've got a couple more scheduled for this afternoon. We love seeing you guys and having you in our room, and we wish that we could have everybody in here at one time, because that would make me, Miss Bowen, so happy. But everybody that's came so far, that you all have done a really great job. So parents, you all should be proud of your kids for coming down to the room and working hard while they're here. They've done excellent. Okay, so we're going to get started this morning with our calendar, just like we do every morning. And up here I have a label, and this label says calendar. That tells me that this, right below it, is the calendar. When we're in the room, whenever you all get in person and we start doing writing in the room and you have to write words, or maybe you're writing a story, our room has tons of labels in it. So you can just look at the labels and you can copy stuff onto your paper when you're doing your writing. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the month. We have the name of our month at the top of our calendar. Over here we have a list of all of the months that make up an entire year. There are 12 months in a year. So we're going to go through and say the names of the months and see if you all can name them at home. Also, on our Google Classroom, if you go in to our reading room, you can click on the poster that has the months of the year, and it will take you to a YouTube video and let you listen to a really cute little song about the months of the year. So these are the months. We have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And there's a little apple right here beside of this month because that's the current month that we're in right now, and the month is September. If we look up here at the top of our calendar, again, we have the word September. So say that at home. I'm going to say it first, putting my hand on my chin. When I point to you, it's your turn to say it. Ready? September. Very good. Now, yesterday, our day of the week was Thursday. There are 7 days that make up a week. So let's go through and name our days of the week. We've got them listed over here, and they go across right here on our calendar. There are 7 days in a week, so let's say our days of the week. If you know them, say them with me. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yesterday was Thursday. Today's day of the week is Friday, and I don't know if you can see it or not on the video, but I have TGIF and a smiley face written above Friday. TGIF stands for Thank Goodness It's Friday. And the smiley face is me because I'm happy on Fridays. That means that we've had a good week of school, and it's the last day of the week, and then we get to have the weekend. So the day of the week is Friday, so let's say that name. Ready? Friday. Very good. Yesterday was the 10th day of the month of September, and so we're going to start at 1, and we're going to count forward and see what number comes after 10 when we're counting. So count with me at home. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So today is the 11th day of September. On our calendar, we have circles, and we have the number written on each circle, and our circles are arranged in a specific way. We have orange, green, orange, green, orange, green, orange, green, orange, green. And the reason it's arranged in that way, it's put in a pattern. When numbers repeat themselves or colors repeat themselves, anything that's repeating over and over is called a pattern. So this type of pattern is called an A-B pattern. We have two colors that we are going back and forth and repeating over and over again. So yesterday we had a green circle. So what color of circle do you think we need today on our calendar? If we had green yesterday, look up here at all the other greens. What color comes after each green? Can you see it? We have orange. So today we're going to put the number 11 on an orange circle. And when we write the number 11, we put a 1 first, and then we put another 1, and that is how we write the number 11. And we're putting that number 11 underneath the day of the week, Friday, after the number 10, and then we're going to look at our year. Our year stays the same for 12 months, and then it's going to change. So the year that we're in right now is the year 2020. So let's say that in a whole sentence. The year is 2020. You say it. The year is 2020. Good job. So let's say our whole date. We're going to start with the day of the week. Ready? Today is Friday, September 11th, 2020. And I hope that you're saying it with me at home or repeating it after me. And I'm missing my chair this morning. Somebody in the prop department wasn't on task. It was me. I wasn't prepared. I didn't have my chair this morning. Okay, so now we're going to go to our straw pocket chart. And this pocket chart is how we keep track of how many days that we've been in school. And so far, yesterday was day number 8. So we're at school again today, or you're doing school from home today. So we're getting 1 straw out. This 1 straw represents today's day of school. We're putting it in the ones place. It's 1 straw. We're putting it in the ones place. And then we're going to count these to see how many we have now. Remember, we had 8 yesterday. We just added 1 more straw. So we're going to count. Anytime that we're counting, and parents practice this with your kids at home, anytime that they're counting objects, make sure that they're one at a time, moving one object away from the set and counting them one at a time. That's called them having one-to-one correspondence. So they need to be able to only move one at a time to be able to count correctly. When we get them in school and they're counting things on paper, they're putting a line through each object as they're counting. So it's a good way to get them started at home. Having one-to-one correspondence is let them count objects, but have a whole set in your hand or something. It doesn't have to be straws. It can be anything. It can be Hot Wheels. It can be Skittles. Whatever you want to use at home to help them do counting. So we have the set here, and we're moving 1 straw at a time away from the set. I know the straws over here have already been counted. These are still left to count. So remember, we had 8 yesterday. So now we're going to count these straws. Ready? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we have 9 straws. 9 is 1 more than 8. So we're going to take the number 8 card away, and we're putting the number 9 in. Here is a 9. We're putting it in the ones place. So now today is day number 9 of school. So now we're going to go over here to our counting chart. And we're looking at the top of our chart, starting with the number 1. We're counting forward. Remember yesterday I said anytime we count forward, we're really counting up. As we count up and as we're counting forward, our numbers are getting bigger. They're becoming larger. They're getting greater. Okay? So we're starting at the number 1. We're reading our numbers from the left to the right, from the top down to the bottom. So we're starting at 1, we're counting forward and seeing if 9 is up here on our counting chart to match the number that's here. So count with me at home. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and next should be 9. And that's the number 9. 9 comes after the number number 8. So I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to count again. Count with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Very good. So at home, practice counting with the kids. Let them count objects, show them numbers, let them look at numbers to start recognizing what numbers look like. Okay, so yesterday we talked about 2 new letters, but before we go over those again, I'm just going to go over all the letters that we've had so far. So the first letter we talked about last week was the letter A. This is an uppercase A. Here's what it looks like, uppercase A. And then we had lowercase a, mommy A and baby A, big A, little a, uppercase A, lowercase a, and A, we are learning, makes the sound ah, ah, ah. You do it. Ah, ah, ah. Let's say the letter name. A. Good. Ah, ah, ah. Make that sound 3 times. Very good. Okay, then we have the next letter in the alphabet is the letter B. This is uppercase B, big B, and then we have lowercase b, uppercase B, lowercase b, and B makes the sound B, B, B. So let's say that name. B, 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 B. Very good. After the letter B in the alphabet comes the letter C. It just looks kind of like half of a circle. This is uppercase C. And then we have lowercase c. They look very similar, except uppercase C is just taller than lowercase c. There it is. Uppercase C, lowercase c. And the sound that we want you to associate right now with the letter C is the sound k, k, k. So you say it at home. C. K, k, k. Very good. All right, next we have the letter D. D is the 4th letter of the alphabet. This is an uppercase D. And then we have lowercase d. Uppercase D and lowercase d. D makes the sound D, D, D. So let's say that letter name. D. Very good. D, D, D. Very good. And remember yesterday I told you that some of you all were getting confused with, let me find my lowercase b and lowercase d, remember? Because they kind of look very, very similar, don't they? They both are made out of a circle and a stick. They're just kind of going in different directions. So I showed you 2 ways to kind of help you remember the difference between a lowercase d and a lowercase b. And if you remember, I squatted down in front of the camera and I held up my hands and I said, if we're saying our alphabet and giving a thumbs up, we could say A, B, C, D. And this is what the letter lowercase b looks like, and this is the lowercase letter D. So try it at home with me. Let's say our ABCs and stop at D. A, B with your left hand, C, D, thumbs up with your right hand. This is your left hand, this is your right hand. So B is going to come first. Remember, we're reading from left to right. So we would say A, thumbs up with our left hand, B, C, thumbs up with our right hand, D. And I also showed you a funny poster that I had made that had lowercase b and lowercase d. And remember, we said B, there's our person, has a belly. B makes the sound B. B is the first sound we hear in belly. D wears a stinky, smelly, what? Diaper. Shoo. So D makes the sound D, and diaper begins with the sound D, diaper. So B has a belly, D wears a diaper. Okay, now, yesterday we talked about 2 new letters. We talked about the letter E. We have uppercase E, lowercase e. E makes the sound eh, eh, eh. And I showed you pictures that begin with that letter and sound, such as elephant, egg, and exit. So let's say that letter name. E. Good. Eh, eh, eh. You make the sound. Very good. Then the next letter after E is the letter F. We have uppercase F, lowercase f. F begins words like fish, fan, first aid, and feather. And F makes the sound. We're kind of putting our teeth down on our bottom lip to make the F sound. So let's say the letter name, F. Very good. Good job. So today I'm going to show you how to write those letters. And I've got my board here. And I have 2 lines on my board. I have a top line, a middle line, and a bottom line. And I'm going to use red to do my letter E. When you are writing an uppercase E, you're going to start at the top line, right there on the top. And remember, when we make our letters, we make them from top to bottom. We do not make letters from the bottom up. We've noticed that some of you all, when you are coming into the room and you're writing your name and you're holding your pencil and starting to make letters and things like that, you're starting at the bottom and going up. So moms and dads, we want to teach them to start making their letters from top to bottom. Okay? So when we write an uppercase E, we're starting at the top and we're making a straight line down from the top line to the bottom line, just like that. Then we're going back to the top and we're kind of tracing along that top line and going over, pick our pencil up, go to the middle line, trace it, over, pick our pencil up, go to the bottom line, and trace it over. So that is uppercase E. So one more time, we're going top to bottom, pick our pencil up, go over the top line, over the middle line, over the bottom line. Uppercase E. Lowercase e is a little tricky. We have to keep lowercase e between the middle and the bottom line. It doesn't come above that middle line. So we kind of have to start in between those 2 lines. That's our starting point. We're going over, come up and touch that middle line, curve around, go down, touch the bottom line, curve back up. Lowercase e stays between the middle and the bottom line. So one more time, we're starting kind of in between the middle and the bottom. We're making a line across, go up, touch that middle line, half a circle around to the bottom, just like that. Uppercase E, lowercase e. Now I'm going to do my F in a different color. I'm going to do F in the color green. And uppercase F is really similar to uppercase E. Again, we're starting at the top and we're making our straight line from top to bottom. Pick our pencil up, go back, go across the top line, pick our pencil up, down to the middle and go across, and then we don't do anything else. So F is almost just like uppercase E. We just don't do the very last step. One more time. Uppercase F, top to bottom. Pick our pencil up, trace across the top. Pick your pencil up, trace across the bottom line. And if you notice, that middle line in E is a little bit shorter than the top and the bottom. And then that middle line in F is a little bit shorter than the top line that we went across on the letter F. Okay? Now, lowercase f, we start a little bit below the top line. We're going to go up and kind of make a hook and go straight down to the bottom. Then we come back to the middle line and we cross it in the middle. Just like that. So lowercase f, we're kind of starting in between the top and the middle line. We're going up and around, straight line down to the bottom. Pick our pencil up and we're crossing over in the middle. Just like that. So we have uppercase E, lowercase e, uppercase f, lowercase f. Okay? All right. Now this morning we're going to read a little story, and we're going to use this story to talk about several different things. We've been focusing on our names, on uppercase letters, lowercase letters. We've been talking about rhyming words, syllables. So first we're going to listen to this story about a little caterpillar. This is a caterpillar, and that's what you have as a caterpillar, and then it becomes a butterfly, which we'll talk about later in the year. But right now we're just going to listen the first time through, and then we'll do some activities with this little story. Okay? So this is called Little Arabella Stiller. So let's see what she does. Little Arabella Stiller found a woolly caterpillar. First, it crawled up on her mother, then up on her baby brother. All said, "Arabella Stiller, take away that caterpillar." So little Arabella Stiller is the name of a little girl, and she goes out and she finds this woolly caterpillar. The caterpillar is crawling on her mom, then it's crawling on her brother. Everybody's saying, "Take it away, we don't want that caterpillar on us." So the first thing that I want you to notice is while I was reading, I started at the top of my page with the first word, and I read my words from the left of the page to the right. Once I got to the end of that line, I went down to the next line, back over to the left, and I read the words from the left, and I pointed under each word as I read. As I get to the end of a line, I go down, and I go back over to the left. And I'm pointing at each word as I'm reading. So one of the things that we're asking the kids when they come in, when we're doing one of their tests, is if I read a word on the page, to point to what word I would go to next. Or if I read a word at the end of the line, point to the word that I would go to next. So it's a real good concept for them to start practicing at home, is how to read, even though they're not actually reading, but how to be able to point to words as you read to them maybe, and that they're moving their fingers, pointing under each word only one time, and they're actually picking their finger up to point. I don't really want them right now sliding across because they might miss something, but point to each word as they're reading, or as you're reading to them, and go from the left across to the right and work their way from the top of the page to the bottom of the page. So in the story, the little girl's name is Arabella Stiller. So the first thing we're going to talk about today are our names. And we talked a few lessons ago about how important our names are. And when we write our name, the first letter in our name begins always with an uppercase capital letter. So in the story, the little girl's name is Arabella Stiller. And if you notice, the first letter of her first name is uppercase A. All the other letters in her name are lowercase letters. So her first name is Arabella, which starts with an uppercase A. All the rest are lowercase. Her last name is Stiller. So Stiller begins with an uppercase S. All the other letters are lowercase. Okay? So Arabella Stiller is her name. Uppercase letter at the beginning of each of those first and last names. All the rest are lowercase. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a piece of green tape, and I'm going to highlight the letter A. It's uppercase at the beginning of her first name, and I'm going to highlight the letter S because it's uppercase at the beginning of her last name. Every time we write our name, it looks exactly the same. We don't change the spelling of our name. So her name here is spelled uppercase A, then lowercase Rabella. We see her name in the story again. Right here is Arabella Stiller. And again, we have an uppercase A. All the rest of the letters are lowercase in her first name. So I'm going to highlight that green. Then we have uppercase S in the name Stiller. That's her last name. I'm going to highlight that. And her name always is spelled using the same letters. Arabella. Down here, Arabella. It's the same. Every time you write your name or spell your name, you're going to use the same letters in the same order. We're not going to be changing the spelling of our name. Once we're given a name, that's how we spell it. Also down here again, we have Arabella Stiller. Uppercase A for her first name, uppercase S for her last name, or capital A and capital S. They have different names, but it means all the same thing. Big A and a big S. So I'm just going to highlight those. So on our paper, we'll see the first letter highlighted in green of her first name, which is an uppercase capital letter, and her last name is an uppercase capital letter. Okay? So now we're going to go from talking about names, and this time we are going to talk about rhyming words. So remember, rhyming words are words that sound alike at the end of the word. The last part of the word is exactly the same when words rhyme. So for example, I always use the example of cat and hat. We have k, at, h, at. They both have at the end of the word, so those words rhyme. So we're going to read the story again, and we're listening for rhyming words. So let's listen. Little Arabella Stiller found a woolly caterpillar. So let's say Stiller, caterpillar. So the last part of those words were So those are the same. Those words rhyme. Stiller and caterpillar rhyme. So I'm going to put blue tape over those. And caterpillar is a really long word, and you know me, I never tear off enough tape, but let's see, did I make it? Almost. Maybe one day I'll get good at tearing highlighter tape off. So in blue, I have Stiller and caterpillar highlighted. Okay? Let's see if we see any more rhyming words. First, it crawled up on her mother, then up on her baby brother. So we have mother, brother. They both end with that ther. So those two words rhyme. So this time, let's see, I'm going to use red on mother and brother. I'm going to highlight those. Mother, see, again, didn't tear off enough tape. And my hair is forever in the way. Mother and brother. So those two words rhyme, and they're highlighted in red. So let's see if we hear any more. All said, Arabella Stiller, take away that caterpillar. So again, we have Stiller and caterpillar, and those two words again rhyme, just like up here. So since they're the same rhyming words, I'm going to use blue again on those words. I'm going to highlight Stiller in blue and big long piece of tape. I covered the whole word. Caterpillar in blue. Okay, so the green is showing the uppercase letters at the beginning of her first and last name. The blue are showing words that rhyme with each other. Stiller, caterpillar, Stiller, caterpillar. And then the red are showing a different type of rhyming word, mother and brother. Okay? All right. So one more thing we're going to do before we stop our video is talk about syllables again. This is something that we talk about for a couple of weeks at the beginning of the school year, our syllables. Syllables is just a fancy name for parts of a word. So we have short words are going to have only one or two syllables. Longer, bigger words are going to have more parts or more syllables. So to help us figure out how many syllables there are in a word, we can clap the word, and however many times we clap will tell us how many syllables or parts that word has. So we're going to do a word. I'm going to say the word, you repeat the word, I'll count to 3, we'll clap it together, and then we'll use our fingers to show how many syllables the word has or how many times that we clapped, how many parts are in the word. So the first word is the word little. Little. So let's clap it on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Little. How many times did you clap? 2 times. So the word little has two parts or two syllables. Okay, let's do the word first. I'm going to count to 3 and you clap it. 1, 2, 3. First. How many times did you clap? 1 time. So that word has one part or one syllable. Let's do the word mother. Good. I'm going to count to 3 and you clap it with me. 1, 2, 3. Mother. How many times did you clap? 2. So the word mother has 2 syllables or 2 parts. Let's do one more. Actually, we'll do 2 more. Let's do the word away. Let's clap it. 1, 2, 3. Away. How many times did you clap? 2. So it has 2 syllables or 2 parts. Now let's do a longer word. Let's do the word caterpillar. It probably has more than 1 clap. Let's see. I'm going to say the word. You repeat it. I'll count to 3. We'll clap it together. And then we'll see how many times we clapped. Ready? Caterpillar. Okay. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Caterpillar. That was a little bit harder, wasn't it? Let's try it one more time. I'm going to say the word. You repeat it. And then we'll clap it after I count to 3 together. Caterpillar. Okay, I'm counting to 3. Let's say it real slow and clap it slow because it's a big long word and it has a lot of parts. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Caterpillar. How many times did you clap? 4. That was a long word. It's got a lot of syllables and a lot of parts. So that one was 4. So we've talked about the date, September 11th today. We have counted 9 days of school. We've reviewed letters A, B, C, D, talked more about letters E and F. We learned the importance of making our names begin with an uppercase capital letter, beginning our first name and our last name. We talked about some more rhyming words, and we clapped syllables. And it's Friday. Miss Boland's back there raising the roof. Y'all don't know nothing about that because y'all a little bit too young, but that's okay. My iPad didn't crash today, so that was a plus. We got everything in one video. It's Friday. Have a very good weekend. We'll see you next week.